Hey, stay Steve, please like and subscribe. Please click on the Deck Heroes icon, click on subscribe. It's 100% free. Blood in, blood out. Don't forget to click on the notifications just so you don't miss any amazing content. This video is on, if you look to the top left, Nipsey Hussle and how to master your energy. I don't know everything about Nipsey Hussle, but I know he invested in the community whilst he was alive. And I have watched most of this video, and I watched it last week, and I thought this is a video I definitely have to do a video on. I'm going to let him speak. I'll jump in where I think it's necessary, but anyway, let's go.
People that I can't learn from. So I don't listen to interviews of artists that don't have no value in what they say. I don't listen to music from people that I can't get no game from.
Are you the smartest one on your team?
Definitely not. I might be the dumbest one. Name of the brand obviously is a marathon. It just stands for endurance. It stands for staying down. It stands for like not quitting, accepting the ups and downs of whatever game you commit yourself to and riding it out, because that's the reality of success or greatness, that it come with a roller coaster ride. I think that anybody could apply the marathon concept to what they do, if it's sports, if it's fashion, if it's music, if it's hustling, whatever. You on a marathon, you know, so.
You're gonna lay in the bed you make. You're not gonna get away with nothing in terms of the energy. You know what I mean? You might beat the camera or the police. They might not catch you for what you're doing, but the energy's.
So I've got to jump in straight away. That marathon concept, that you're not on a sprint on the route to success. It's a marathon, so you got to stick with it. But now let's go.
It's always gonna return to you. So when you're just living in this cycle of being negative all day and just putting out negativity, and that's the only energy you putting out, it's gonna return to you in a different form than you put it out in. So I would just say, you know, master your energy. Do your best to master your energy and what you put out. You know, and unless that's what you want. You know, because you're entitled to whatever you want to create, whatever experience you want to create for yourself. But if you're tired of that shit, adjust the energy. You know what I mean? As best you can. Adjust what you wake up thinking and what you say. And then lastly, what you do. And that's not an easy thing to do, because it's such a pressure in these areas to just go by the way things are. But, you know, it's a lot of examples that you could look up to as young kids in the streets. You could look up to Kendrick Lamar. Not the words, forget what he's saying, just where he came from. I seen him, you could YouTube him freestyling in the Nicholson Garden Projects. You could look up to a Nip Hussle. You know, you could look up to a YG, you know what I mean, to a Top Dog, you know what I mean, to any one of these guys that came from this hopelessness and you know, wiggled their way through it. You know what I mean? And you can reverse engineer what they did. You know, look at the steps, what happened.
The most important thing, number one, is you gotta get rid of doubt. If you got doubt in what you're doing, it's not.
Just quickly, he's talking about the negativity, and if you're surrounded by negativity and you've got to find that way out, then he's just giving you a roadmap, basically, that you need to kind of look to self and just make it happen, and don't focus on that negativity as something to hold you back. You got to look past it and push through it. You know what I mean? And you can make it, and look to the examples of others like him and the other people that he mentioned that have done it. So, as I say, don't let your circumstances put the blinkers on that you can't reach forwards, or don't let it be an excuse. There's no excuse. You got to push through. They've got to keep it moving. That marathon mentality he was talking about earlier. Let's go.
Work. You know what I'm saying? And the way to do that is you have a plan. Because if you got a plan, it's not like just a pipe dream. You have a step-by-step list of things to do to get to your goal. If you don't have that, it's very hard to really have faith in what you're doing. Because as soon as something pop up, it's going to look like the end all. But if you got a game plan of everything you need to do, you know, one thing pop up, well, I still got to do this, and that, so this ain't going to stop me. You know what I'm saying? Another thing pop up, well, shit, I accomplished this 2 things. Since my last obstacle, I only got 3 more things to do. Let me keep pushing, fuck it. Pretty soon you attain your goal, and then you create another one. But without a game plan, without a strong sense of faith in what you're doing, it's going to be real hard to accomplish anything. And I know, you know, it's a lot of obstacles out here. Family, baby mamas, the legal system, trouble with the law, you know, your homeboys being involved in a crab in the bucket syndrome, where, you know what I mean, you making moves and starting to make your way out, and people start trying to attach themselves to you and really become weight, you know what I'm saying, extra weight. And sometimes it's like kamikaze, they blow themselves up trying to stop you. So, you know, you gotta have faith in what you're doing and not take no for an answer. You'll get it. It'll be a long run, but you'll get it, for sure. Yeah, you can learn from my mistakes, but you might have to make them. You know what I mean? I would just say.
So I've got to jump in just very quickly again. Just have a plan. You see, I'm doing videos as well on the directionless life. And I think he's talking about people in the ghettos, really. People who've got the most disadvantage. And have a plan. Life's obstacles, life's knocks may well hit you. But if you've got your mind on the plan and you can plan around it and you know where your destination is, you know what I mean, then you've got a better chance, basically. And similar to that, you've got to remove these kind of negative obstacles that you allow to be in your place. That may be your peer group. You know what I mean? You don't want nothing to hold you back if you want to reach for the stars. Or do you not want to reach for the stars? Have that plan, have that marathon mentality you were talking about earlier. Very good. Let's go.
if you take the quality from me if you was to take any quality from me, take the quality of persistence and staying down, you know what I mean? And being able to take it on the chin and take a blow, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's important, you know, to not stay on the ground if you get knocked down and, you know what I mean, be able to roll with the punches.
I've never been one of the people that could be comfortable being careless. Some people, I notice the quality that they don't have that just don't have I guess the pressure on themselves. You know, they just have a little bit of a comfort that I don't have. I don't feel comfortable unless I know I went above and beyond with my preparation. The things that possibly could happen, if I ain't take real steps to prevent those things, I'm not comfortable. I can't walk around, you know, charismatic and happy. No, I gotta make sure, you know, we setting up some type of wealth, because we might have a little bag right now, but we know a lot of people had a bag right now, and they ended up bad. We got a core business, which is for me music, but then it's about building an enterprise around it. And I think, you know, that's what we see Jay-Z has done. That's what we see Puff has done. The music don't become how you pay the bills. It's a lot of pressure off of it. You got other things bringing in income. You can make music solely as an artist.
Real, everybody got a different definition of what they in the game for. I couldn't get my way in trying to fit in. What I'm here to...
Just before we move on, I don't want to let that one go. He's talked about having that resilience, again, that marathon mentality, but he also said about setting standards and not being careless, and don't be happy with no standards or low standards, or happy in carelessness. No, no, you're happy in having a plan. A plan is going to get you somewhere, and some minimal standards, and that minimal standards is a high standard. You know what I mean? And that's where you got to get to, and there's no point being happy or charismatic but broke. You know what I mean? Let's push this thing forwards. Don't be happy and kind of looking at the lowest level of peer group and say, well, you know, that's no better than us. You know, we're no worse than them. We're doing all right. You're not doing all right if you're at the bottom. Push forwards, reach our potential. Let's go.
I couldn't do that trying to fit in. It wouldn't. What my goal, you can't get at what I'm trying to do that way. From my understanding of it, my experience with it, you got to be authentic, and you got to define your shit. You got to make a contribution. Yeah. You know what I mean? You can't try to copy ride waves. You got to define your contribution. For sure. I learned when I was younger, like, you can't put your expectations.
Just a second, in defining your contribution, that's fine. It's like, I think he's saying about break new ground, and you know what I mean, have your unique, I think is what he's saying, have your kind of add what you've got. But I think there's also something in just seeing what works. Seeing what works and think, oh man, I can also do that. Then do it. You know, don't just leave it on the drawing board, or don't just leave it, doesn't even make it to the drawing board, at the back of your mind. Oh yeah, I could probably get that done. Then X amount of time passes by. Do you remember when, it was January, it's like, oh my gosh, it's cold. And now we're in December. You know what I mean? It's like, don't let time pass us by. Let's go. Let's crack on. Let's rather move forward with it kind of mentality. Let's go.
Me on me. I'm me. You feel me? And you're not gonna ever make me feel bad for it. You're not gonna, you know, make me react to how you reacting to me. I don't care. I'm me. And if I part of who I am, you know, is disrespectful or is, you know, crossing the line of like basic things, I'm gonna check myself. But you know, we all are individuals. So for you to think my balance or my ratio, I'm too this or too that, and I ain't got enough of this and enough of that. That's all love. Just keep it to yourself, bro. Don't blend in. You know, stay in your lane. There's no traffic in your lane. You know what I'm saying? Be honest and stay in your lane.
The marathon is just about seeing long term, seeing a vision, understanding that nothing really worthwhile happens overnight, and just sticking to your script long enough to make something real happen. Laying a brick every day instead of trying to build a brick wall. Just lay a brick every day. Eventually you look up, you gonna have a brick wall. I drop my daughter off every day. I drill her out every day at school when I take.
Honestly, I love that. I love that. Listen, every day is about moving forwards. It's not about standing still. It's definitely not about going backwards. Every day is about moving forwards, brick by brick. And next thing you know, you've got those foundations. You've got that solid, I don't like the idea of wall, but you've got those solid foundations, and you just build into the stars. Love it.
In school, you know, we have a little combo we had before she got the car, and she gets sick of running the script for me, but I pounds in her head. Like, you know, what is integrity? You know, integrity doing the right thing when nobody's looking, all right? You know, are you a leader or a follower? I'm a leader. What's the difference? Think for myself, all right? Do you have confidence? Yes, what's confidence? Believe in myself. That's our script every morning. And regardless, she can't really embrace those ideas right now. When she get older and do an evaluation of what the message that I wanted her to receive direct, she's not gonna forget that that's what my dad thought was really important, was the integrity, the leadership, and the confidence.
There's no one answer to how you change.
You know what, I like the foundations. Well, I like the message that he's giving to his daughter about like repeating this kind of like mantras about whether you're a leader or a follower. That's all very good. That's all very good. I think the foundations are the consistency that they see in you and the activities that you give them to do from this young age. She's only a little baba, but going right through life, there's no kind of let up on the standards. You know what I mean? Of course, it's got to be realistic to the person, but think beyond that. We've got to set a minimal standard because we want them to fly. We don't want them to sit and kind of think that our rose-tinted glass is going to get them through life. You know what I mean? We got to look to other communities and other cultures and think about how do they get their kids towards the top of the mountain. You know what I mean? And does our method actually work? And if it doesn't work, we've got to change something up, otherwise nothing changes. Look at the kids in China right now and their ability to do math. Are our kids on that kind of level? You know what I mean? Are they getting that little bit of a push and that encouragement and all those conditions in order for them to be high achievers in that? And then you can replicate that to every other subject to be absolutely amazing at school. You know what I mean? And they kind of got everything they need in order to go on to university and just absolutely fly and flourish, and their careers and their futures are more certain and definitely brighter. So I think that's what we need to bring, a kind of a game plan and mindset. Yeah, he's got the mantras, but also beyond that, best practice in order to actually deliver on life instead of just our hopes and dreams that they will do well.
The hood or change the reality of what goes on. But what you gotta think about is when you don't have resources, you're in survival mode. You know, so being in survival mode automatically rules out a lot of things because you don't care about morality, because you don't experience morality. You experience, you know, the need to survive. You don't experience, you know, fairness. You don't experience planning for the future. You just experience my ribs touching. You know what I mean? And it's better me than you. And, you know, it's a survival instinct that kick in. So I think once you get out of the survival mode, your morals come back closer to your daily decision making. You start thinking about what's right, what do I believe in. But until you get out of survival mode, you ain't got time to be worrying about right and wrong. You worrying about bottom line. You know what I mean? By any means necessary. So I think that economics is the answer. Empowering people economically is how you really, really impact budget.
Before we go into the economic side of things, I think what he said is absolutely true. And I came to the same conclusion myself. As I did a comment on it not too long ago, about a month or so ago. I think one of the things that holds us back or holds our community back, all the kind of low-income communities, is that kind of short-term survival mindset. In our minds, we're trying to survive for that day and going into the next day. Listen, we're in the West. We have got it particularly good. There's many other places in the world would dream of what we have, you know, over here with the benefits and the health provisions and things like that. And there's people who come over. This is another example. People come over here from abroad and they look around and say, hold on, why aren't you guys doing what you need to do? Then they are the high flyers and they've only been here 2 minutes. You know what I mean? So let's get out of this kind of survival mode mindset and all these excuses about why we can't achieve. Let's just get that out of the way. Again, people come over here from abroad, they had no foundations in anything, and they're the high flyers, relatively. Okay, so let's cut this BS. Let's go back a little bit and go forwards.
Worrying about bottom line, you know what I mean? By any means necessary. So I think that economics is the answer. Empowering people economically is how you really, really impact. But I don't know if it's about dropping a bag of money in the hood. I think it's about impacting culture in a way that, you know, the mentality changes. I think like you get people out of survival mode, they start thinking different. I did, you know, when I figured out, you know, how to get myself out of the situation, my approach to life and people was different. I wasn't so angry. I didn't have my guard up. I wasn't so aggressive. I wasn't so, you know, expecting if you ain't helping me, fuck you. That wasn't the mentality no more. And I can't blame nobody. You know what I mean? That's thinking about how they gonna pay their rent or like going through not having food at the house, being young and having to go outside to hustle to feed themselves with school clothes. That's gonna change people. That's gonna make you feel away. And you can't fault them. You just gotta kind of empathize with the scenario and understand you put a person in survival mode, they're gonna survive by any means.
No, I was always a hustler. So when I talk to a young dude, I'm like, bro.
There's nothing wrong with that, mind. Listen, of course, you've got to survive to the next day. You've got to kind of the roof above your head. You've got to have the food on the table. All that's fair enough. And if that's your life, that's your life. Right? But what about the kids? What about that next generation? Is that going to be their life as well? Okay, that goes back to what I said before as well. You've got to be able to prepare people and say, cut the excuses and give them the conditions in order to be able to fly and not have to struggle And if it hasn't worked for you, and it hasn't worked for your generations, and hasn't worked for your peer group, whatever's happening now, you got to change it up. Otherwise, it's never going to change. So you got to look to other cultures or whatever it is, or kind of expand your mindset and think, well, actually, we've got to try something different. We've got to definitely try something that works. That's what we need to do. We need to get out of this kind of struggle life. And as he said, it's about to change your culture, which is back to what I just said a minute ago.
My advice to you is gonna be money advice. Bro, get you some money, you're gonna feel different. All that other advice I could have gave you, this is the short version. You know, get you a couple dollars, man, you're gonna feel different. You know, I be juggling. You know what I'm saying? I juggle a lot. I play a lot of positions. You know what I mean? So, my mentality when I do start to be like, damn, this is a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, you know, that's what it's supposed to feel like. If you are going toward what the vision look like, and that's like greatness. That's, you know, on multiple levels. That's the vision that I'm working toward. So I'm like, I just think about that. Like, this shit ain't supposed to feel, you know, comfortable. It's supposed to be uncomfortable. It's supposed to stretch you. It's supposed to be a burden to a degree. And you gotta, you know, wrap your mind around that and accept it and embrace it. And you catch the wisdom off of that. You know?
Words is powerful, you know? And I think that the ability to articulate, you know, you can really impact people. I think as human beings, everybody has a natural gift and a natural passion, but then you go outside and you get influenced and you feel pressure from what's going on outside. And so, you know, I read one time, like, would you rather be at war with yourself and at peace with the world, or at peace with yourself and at war with the world? And that was powerful for me.
Really like that video. Really like that video. I really like this channel. And believe it or not, that's got like millions of views. And there's only like about 8 videos on that channel. But absolutely the type of message and the type of energy that I want to bring to my channel. Very honoured to have the late Nipsey represented on my channel in any way whatsoever. I didn't know a lot about him, but listening to this video is obviously about a lot of positivity and progression for himself and others. He invested in his communities quite a lot from what I heard, and it's a sad loss that he's gone. And I hope you guys took something from that. I definitely took something from it, and so you're going to have your own perspectives. And listen, if you've got another kind of insight or other videos which are going to help people along or give me something interesting to comment on, then please put that in the comments too. Be more than happy, and I'll be more than appreciative. Maybe give you a shout out. That's it. Please like, subscribe. There is Steve, and I'm out.